Good day, my name is Albert Kriel. I am from Mozambique in Africa and have always had a passion for petroglyphs and unexplained structures. Getting tired on YouTube looking at other people's discoveries, I decided to start on my home continent and focus on the Egyptian area, seeming that it's such an ancient culture. On the Suez Canal side of Egypt, there's a little town called Ras Ghareb. Ras Ghareb, which is that little one, has the most amazing petroglyphs behind the town. The area we're going to work on, that being the town, is down on this side. Before we go in there, I want to point out this little light source here. This light source is emitted from about 100 by 100 square meter mining pit where they were or are mining limestone. Now look at the glow only 100 by 100 meters gives you. We're now going to zoom in on a specific section. I want to show you the detail of the petroglyphs that we are going to look en masse on. Look at the detail that was carved into the landscape, care given to dimensions, and note on the top of the structure the white there, the white here. That is all in ancient times. It was capped by white limestone to make it more visible from outer space and or on a flyover. Unfortunately in 2016 there was a flash flood and a lot of these petroglyphs have been covered up, as well as erosion over millennia has taken its toll. Alright, pointing out the kind of detail, we're going to go out and go down to a section here. We're only going to cover about 10 by 12, 10 by 15 kilometers roughly now, and I will make follow-up videos of per section as we go. The section we are in now, first of all I want you to look and see that there is no roads. There's the main roads going. There are no roads leading into and or are being used to access this area. If we zoom in right onto this, you will see that it's a pyramid structure. What makes this pyramid structure unique and interesting is that this black section here is smoke emitting from the top of it. If you go onto Google Earth, you will see that wrong one, you will see that it emits smoke there. Right, as you can see, I am a bit computer or technologically STEMmed, and that is the reason for this video. By accident I opened the wrong one, and let's go to the wrong one right now and I'll tell you where I was heading and why I stopped there. First I went and drew out all the detail as I could see it section by section, zoomed in and then combined to make the big picture. The area that we are in being there, we're going to leave that area now and go into that one there. Now, what makes this interesting is that if this was all capped in white limestone, it would have made a big picture. So that was my approach. I wanted to draw it out, then highlight it in white and put it over the map. You will see that I mostly work in Zoom Earth. I do use Google Earth as a reference, but the quality of their imagery is not really the best. Alright, I've just showed you the smoke coming out. So let's go out of this one and start migrating to the corner before going to the top. This will have to be a video on its own at a later stage. Here you can see the petroglyphs carved out, and it looks like text blocks. Again, unfortunately, a lot has been damaged by the flash flood. Going down to the area that I wanted to go to. Right, there we are. It seems to resemble a kind of a ship, and on both sides it is emitting emitting a line out on the bottom and out to the top. If I zoom in on these lines, you will see that they are deliberately carved waves. Both at the top and the bottom are these waves. Now, what makes these waves interesting to me is that if we go to this section here, this whole section is covered by thousands of little petroglyphs that make a bigger picture, but the area that caught my eye right from the beginning when I discovered this, I need to give a bit of history how I discovered this. I was on the coastline, zooming in on the coastline, and I found these wave structures with ships floating in them. That will be covered in a different video at a different time. But these waves, when I opened this one, said to me that this is a kind of a tear, a break line. And why I'm saying that is, you will see the break, that zigzags out there, that zigzags down. The quality isn't good enough to zoom in on the iPad that I'm using. Note this line going down there, and it crosses right into the next twin line, and the waves go out on the sides. You will note lots of these pentagon structures. I've counted over 11, and then while we're down here, there we go. I want to go into this section and point out this diamond pattern. This diamond pattern I've picked up 3 times, and as I said, this is a 10 by 15 kilometer area only. The whole petroglyph line that I have identified is way over 300 kilometers and about 30 kilometers inland. There's a beautiful pentagon again, and right next to it the diamond pattern again. Now, coming back to my first statement that it was all lime covered to emit light, there are ones that has survived a bit better through millennia, and there you go. And it must make one big picture. These white-capped buildings here have been discussed on numerous YouTube videos, and the basic deduction or explanation is that it is missile launching platforms and or housing missiles, which would make sense. It's a highly restricted area. I've asked to Ras Ghareb, the townsfolk, if they would go and do some footage for me, and they both refused and said they are Egyptian and it's against the Egyptian law. What makes this interesting, I've just mentioned earlier on that in 2016 there was a flood. There's, before we go to the flood, let's quickly zoom in on that little pentagon there, show you the quality of it. Alright, let's go back to the roads. These roads show up on Google Maps. And you can see that this road section here leading into it where the tar ends carries no traffic whatsoever. Okay, coming back to the waves, I think that zigzags indicate waves, and I want to make a deduction, a wild deduction, and say this is the depiction of the Great Flood. I've watched some videos recently of guys that are saying that the split of Pangaea, the supercontinent, didn't happen billions of years ago, but much more recent, and that the flood was linked to it. In biblical scriptures, they refer to the water from above and the water from below. That being said, I want to go and zoom in on a section that gives me the indication that it is the waters below. Can you see that it's opening and the waters from below is coming out? And that is done all over in these small little circles. Again, there's your wave coming out. Again, the circle with the waves coming out, and there are multiple of these. Now, going to our spaceship again, if that zigzag, whether it's a laser or whether it is water, but a wave nonetheless. So please, I want feedback. I want people with computer skills to draw this out and put it in white highlights so that we can see what the big picture is. Because a big picture, it did form in antiquity. There's a message here. Help me decipher the message.